Now let me know if the text size is big enough for you to read it.
Yep, that's good.
Okay, now, alright. Now, usually, at the beginning of every class, we would do some conversation practice. Now, this is very common. This is where we store. This is where we keep track of the conversation. It's basically a transcript. Now, this is very common. At the beginning, there's nothing we can talk about, not that much, because we don't know many things yet about the Spanish. But eventually, you will start to notice how this document starts to get crowded as we learn and more and more. But for now, okay. For now, we will just be today we will just go straight to the topic, and but next class, at the beginning, we will try to do maybe a little bit of review of what we learned in previous classes. Okay,
Okay, sounds good.
give me a second. Okay. For today, we will start with the basics, with the very basics, and use many languages, not only Spanish but also French. We usually start with the verb to be, right? Now, in Spanish, we have two to be's. That's why I call it to be or to be, to be or to be. And there is a little bit of a controversy in this topic because we have ser and estar. Now, if you look on the internet, on how are these two different, you'll find many, let's say, tricks and tips on how to differentiate between them. Some people will say, okay, ser is usually used in the context of something that is difficult to change or permanent. For example, your physical appearance, your hair color. Of course, you can dye your hair and a different color, but naturally, you have on a specific type of hair. Your height, either you are short or tall. That's difficult to change as well. Um, your family bonds, let's say, like your sister, maybe you can legally do something to get into another family, right? But in essence, it's something like will be permanent because it's difficult to change. And then people say that the star is used in the context of things that are temporary, like your physical location. For example, you could be at your house now, but later you might go outside and be somewhere else. Or your state, your emotional state. You may feel good now, but later maybe something happens and you will feel a little bit sad or something like that. Or you could be very well now, but maybe you catch a cold and you get sick. So there's many tricks people like to point out, but I like to summarize this in the following, let's say, pattern. Ser, we can attach ser to, define, and describe. 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 Define and describe. Now, if you think about this, when you describe something, you get usually all the elements and components I already mentioned, right? Physical appearance, relationship, or when you define someone, you can also get into relationships. You can get into nationality. Of course, you can get a different nationality, right? But the place you were born is different. That's never gonna change. Even if you get to another country and you apply for citizenship. So place of nationality, your title, for example, or if you graduated from college and you're a doctor, and yeah, you already have the title, so it's difficult to change that. Of course, you can change your profession, right? But on the paper, you're still a doctor. So defining and describing, you get into that terrain. Let's say when you put there in those two simple words, define and describe, physical appearance, size, if you're tall or short, personality as well. You are defining or describing a person. Is she a kind person? Is she a nice person? If she be a little bit rude, for example, that will be defined and described. And then we have a star. A star, which I like to define as state and motion. Motion. Why state? Well, this is what we talked about before. State. Okay, I feel good now. I feel bad. Am I busy now? Am I available now? That's something that also can change. What am I doing? Am I eating now? Maybe yes, but maybe later I will be sleeping or something like that. So this is basically how I like to uh differentiate between the two of them. Ser, define, describe, and estar, state and motion. To state, and motion would be about physical location, or what is this entity, let's say, doing, moving, standing, or resting, for example, right? Okay. Now we will need maybe may you have a notebook beside you to take notes.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna take notes of a few, let's say, a few words we will need this one. I, this is yo, and I am would be now let me put this in between parentheses. Yo soy. Yo soy. Now, why parentheses? Because you will often see in Spanish what that we tend to drop the pronouns very often. You may hear people saying stuff like soy blah 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 and soy blah 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 and es blah blah blah. We, unless it's necessary, maybe like for clarification, we don't need the pronouns very often. That's why I will be using this parenthesis. But at the beginning, especially to keep the one-to-one English translation, at the beginning we will try to use the Spanish pronoun. But as we progress, we will start to drop them very often.
Okay.
Okay, we have this one. You. This one has three variations. Let's say we have two. We have boss, and we have usted. Now, what is the difference between all of those? Two and boss are similar, but depending on the country, they might be different. You said your husband is from Guatemala, right?
He was born in New Jersey, but he's Guatemalan and Colombian.
Ah, okay. So he might be familiarized with boss. I'm not so sure. Maybe you can ask him later. How do you know about this boss? Because in Central America, boss is very common to use. Boss. Let's say took the place of two in Mexico. In Mexico, they use two, for example, but boss was let's say extend widespread Central America and Argentina as well. Now, this boss might be a little bit like rude, for example, depending in if you don't know the person, of course. And two, depending on the country as well. In Mexico, for example, could be familiar, casual, but in Central America, for example, that may be polite, but not as polite as usted. Usted is, in general, the polite version of you. This is something you would use for maybe with old people, senior people, let's say. This is something you would use with your parents. There is even couples that they treat each other as usted. Even young couples, they do this a lot. But it's very often they talk to each other using usted. So the basically the polite you. Spanish is a, because of its history, is a hierarchical language. We have, because of the history, right, the Spanish Empire, we have many words that resemble a little bit of maybe a someone talking to someone else on a higher status, let's say. So that will be usted, boss, and usted, boss, and tú. Now I'm gonna give you these two parentheses, right?
Mhm.
And give me a second here. Tú eres and give me a second. Vos sos. Tú eres and vos sos. Both of them meaning you are. Now, what about usted? You will ask. We will see that in a moment. Right now, ustedes. Vos sos. Tú eres. We will need as well he. This is él. Él. Which becomes ls. ls. We will need as well she is. Our first she. This is ella, which will become parenthesis ella es. Now we will talk about this in a moment. And now we'll give you this one here because these three. Let me put this here. Now I will place usted separated from tú and vos because I like to put these three together because they share many, let's say, patterns. Not only in this case, for example, I will give you an example. To say she ate, he ate, or you polite ate, you would use the same word, comió. Comió. Now, how can you tell which one did it? That will usually depend on the context, or if you want to say specifically, usted comió. That's what we said. Unless it's necessary, maybe for clarification or for a better understanding, we usually drop the pronouns. So we will leave those three together because they go together in many other patterns. Okay. Next would be they. They. And this has two translations. Ellos or ellas. Ellos or ellas. And this becomes ellos son or ellas son. Ellos son, ellas son. Now, what will this depend on? Well, basically, ellos is now Spanish is also Spanish has also another property, and that is Spanish is a gendered language. As for example French, Italian, and Portuguese. I'm not sure about Romanian. I never delved into Romanian, but being a Latin language, I would assume it's also gendered language. So we differentiate between male and female nouns. Nouns are basically like words. In this case, ellas is exclusively a group of female entities, let's say, like girls, or not only people, but for example, like female nouns. For example, you would say mesas. For example, you would say las mesas son grandes. I don't know. The tables are big. So that sound will apply to mesas as well, because if you think about it, mesas is las mesas is the same as ellas because they are tables, right? So ellas, a group of female, let's say, nouns, and then we have ellos, which is basically for either a mixed group. For example, imagine there is you, Marcos, and Sofia, and someone else is talking about you three, and this person says, ellos son mis amigos, which would be they are my friends. Now this person is talking about you, Marcos, and Sofia, and you're a mixed group, right? You're a mixed gender group because there is two women and one man. So ellos could serve either for a mixed gender group, or just a male, let's say, group of nouns. Let's say you're talking about, let's say you had two brothers, Mark and John, and you would say, ellos son mis hermanos. They are my brothers, my two brothers. So in that case, ellos applies, and also applies in the other scenario where there's a group of mixed, let's say, mixed gender nouns. Okay, ellos, ellas. Then we have this one, you all, and now this is a strange, let's say, but I believe this is used in English in some states. I'm not so sure. The you all, and
Yeah, like all.
yes, right. I had, at least I had this from like people in Texas.
Yeah, Georgia too.
Yeah, yes. So we do have a equivalent, and it is used quite often, actually. So you all would be ustedes, or, and here it comes the surprise with saying, I'm gonna give you this one, vosotros and vosotras. Vosotros and vosotras. What is that vosotros and vosotras? Now, this is Spanish from Spain. This is Castilian Spain. Now, we are not gonna be focused in this type of this Spanish, let's say, variation, dialect. I'm not sure how to call it. Now it's good to be aware of this Spanish, because someday, who knows, you might run into someone either from Spain or who studied Spanish from Spain. It's very common that people, for example, in Asia or the UK, it's very often they will study Spanish from Spain, maybe because it's closer for them. It's easier to go from Asia, for example, to Spain, rather than going to Latin America. Also for the UK as well, it's the same scenario. It's easier for them just to go to Spain. I believe it's like just a couple of hours. That's not the case, for example, for US, Canada, I forgot the name of this island that belongs to the UK. Or Trinidad and Tobago as well. Trinidad and Tobago, they speak English. And usually, if they study Spanish, because Venezuela and South America is so close, they one way or the other they end up studying Spanish from Hispanic America, let's say. So, but we will not be focusing too much on this, but it's good to be aware that it exists, let's say. Vosotros and vosotras, or ustedes. Now, this could be ustedes son, and you will notice something. We'll point out something in a minute. Now, let me put this in parentheses. Or vosotros, vosotras sois. Vosotros, vosotras sois. And notice this, right? Notice how ella él, usted, ellos, ellas, ustedes, they kinda share a similar pattern. These three go together because we use s, and these three they also go together because all of them use son. And you'll notice this in many other patterns. For example, if I wanted to say ellas, ellos, or ustedes ate, I will use comieron. And that will be they ate or you all ate. That's why these two let's say these two groups of three, they go together in many other verb conjugations. Okay, and finally we have we, which is nosotros or nosotras, and this will become nosotros, nosotras, somos. This works exactly the same as ellos and ellas. Nosotros could be a group of either just male entities, let's call it, but nosotras could be a mix of male and females, or just females. For example, let's say you are with your friend. I don't know, your friend Jessica, right? And you both are from the U.S. So, if you run into Spanish speakers, you would say, nosotras somos de los Estados Unidos. We are from the United States. And the nosotras can apply also for girls, for example. But if you were traveling with Jennifer and maybe your brother John, then you will say nosotros. Nosotros. Nosotros somos de los Estados Unidos. Okay. To summarize, we will need these words: son, eres, sos, es, so.
I'm sorry, really quickly. Someone's at the door. Give me 1 second.
Yes. We had a typo there. Soy, eres, sos. Again, soy, eres. Okay, here. Soy, eres, sos, es, son, somos. Sois.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm back now.
Okay. So we will need these words. We can summarize into this: soy, eres, sos, es, son, sois, and somos. Now, I would like, before we proceed, I would like you to read and try to read just to check pronunciation a little bit. I would like you to read the Spanish. Yo soy. Yo
Yo
soy.
soy.
Uh-huh. Then tú. Tú eres. Vos. Vos sos.
Tú eres, vos sos.
Oh. Él. Él es. Ella. Ella es.
Él es, ella es.
Es, yes. And then we have us, usted es. Usted es.
Usted es.
Right. Ellas son. Ellos son.
Ellos son, ellas son.
Ellas son, alright. Ustedes son. Vosotros. This one is a little bit trickier. Vosotros sois.
Ustedes son, vosotros sois.
Muy bien, yes. And finally, nosotros somos. Nosotras somos.
Nosotras somos, nosotras somos.
Okay, very good. All right. Now we will be maybe covering one or two per class until we manage to see all of them. For today, we will be focusing on S. S when it comes to something, when it comes to mostly it is. This is something I didn't mention yet. Is because I really hate it when it comes to Spanish. It is because in many dictionaries you will see it as eso. I really don't like this translation. So we will, for now, we will assume that it is just s. S. We will see later eventually why that is. But for now, there is no it. Let's assume there is no it in this case. Okay. Now give me a second. Okay, we will be maybe going through some scenarios to cover ser. For now, wanna focus on ser. And remember, ser, define and describe. Define and describe. Let's say some functions of ser. I guess the first one we can cover, because it's very common to use, is when it comes about time, date, years, hour. We will be covering a little bit of this. I believe we maybe introduced this very briefly in your demo lesson.
Yes.
So today we will be dive into this topic. So time, date, hour, weeks, years. Now for this topic, for this section, let's say, of the topic, we will need to count at least until maybe 30. 31 actually. 31. So how are your Spanish numbers? Maybe are you familiarized with counting in Spanish?
Yeah, I think that I think that I'm good. It's like for there's I guess I'll go to 20. Like there's Binte and then there's like Binte, Uno, Binte dos,
Oh yes, that's it. Okay.
like Binte, things like, and then Trenta for 30.
Yeah. 31 will be enough for date of the month, and then 12 is enough for counting time. I was like 1 p.m., 2 p.m. That would be so. For now, we will focus on this. Now, what about days of the week?
Yeah, I'm a little rusty on the days of the week.
Oh yeah, not only you. This happens to me. I study Japanese. I teach Japanese until maybe intermediate, but there's something that happened to me. I was never able to learn the days of the week because that's something you. I feel that's something you learn unless you're living in that country. That's something you will never get used to. I don't know. That's what I felt at least.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a second. I changed mine. Okay, we will be. Okay, let me see. We will switch a little for a while to the vocabulary. And Monday. Maybe you remember Monday.
Lunes.
Lunes, yes. What about Tuesday?
Mm, I can't remember right now.
This one is martes. Mar.
Okay.
Let me put it like this. Martes. Martes.
Martes.
What about Wednesday? This word takes my all my brain power to type it. What? Wednesday. And what about?
Miércoles.
Yes, that's it. What about Thursday?
Viernes.
This will be
That's Friday.
jueves. Yes, 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 yes. Jueves. And yes, you say Friday, that would be viernes. Then what about Saturday?
Sábado.
Sábado, yes. Sábado. And what about Sunday? Sunday.
I'm not sure.
This one is domingo. Domingo. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado y domingo. Now, what about months of the year? January. Do you know January?
No.
That will be enero. Enero.
No.
February. No.
February.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Some of them resemble English. I believe this comes from Latin. Latin. For example, July is because of Julius Kaiser Julius, right, from Rome. So this, I think this one will be easy to learn. Okay, what about March?
I'm not sure.
This will be marzo. Marzo. April.
Not sure.
April. There will be abril. It's just one character that will change. Abril, April, Abril, April. Actually, it's April in. No, no, no. I believe it spells different. Okay. May. What about May?
And be honest, I think the only ones I fully remember are July because it's Julio, and then Diciembre, Septembre,
Uh-huh.
and then October, I think
Uh-huh.
is.
So now you will shock. Mayo will be Mayo. Shockingly difficult. May, Mayo, Junio, June. It will be Junio. July, Julio. Yes, as you said. Julio, Julio. August.
Just
Yes. This is for August, Caesar Augustus from Rome as well. So they resemble a lot. And then like you said, September. This is like November and October. They actually sound similar. Septiembre.
September.
Yes, got a typo there. October. Yes, Octubre. November. Noviembre. And December. Diciembre. Okay. Enero, febrero, marzo, abril, mayo, junio, julio, agosto, septiembre, octubre, noviembre, December. Now we're not gonna use all of them today. Maybe we will use a couple of them at maximum. Same of the days of the week, but this document will be available to you at the end of the lesson. So just in case you want to download it and just copy them into your notes. Okay. Let me go back to this one. Okay. Now we need to introduce a concept that I like to call, and I will open a specific section in the vocabulary. I like to call it question words. What are question words? Question words are words you use to ask about something. We have many of them. Where, when, when, who, whom, how, what, which, how many, how much. In this case, what, qué, or cuál, qué or cuál. Both of them, um, both of them are equivalents for what, qué or cuál, qué or cuál. Okay, let me go back. Now take a look at this one, right? ¿Qué día is la fiesta? Now notice here, right? La. This is something we could add to the vocabulary as well. The in Spanish could be el, la, los, las. And when to use which one? Well, el, you may be able to assume this. El is masculine singular, la feminine singular, los masculine plural, and last feminine plural. And you will see this a lot. Spanish is very tied to gender and amount. Gender and amount. So take a look at that. Feminine, masculine, feminine, singular, plural. Gender and amount. Gender and amount. Okay. Okay. Now, based on what we learned, que, la, es, what do you think is the meaning for this one?
What day is the party?
What day is the party? Okay. La fiesta es el domingo. Now, I believe we talked about this. I will introduce a new section in our vocabulary. I will call it markers. We have on, which is el, to mark days. Now, on can have some other meanings, but for now, we'll just think it's on to mark days. Let's say like on Tuesday. I'm gonna give you an example here. The party is on Monday. I mean, nobody will make a party on Monday, but yes. La fiesta es el lunes. There, lunes. The party is on, so that on is the way, let's say, we mark a specific day of the week. La fiesta es el lunes. Okay. Now, give me a second. Based on what we learn, and knowing that Domingo is Sunday, what do you think is the meaning for this one?
The party is on Sunday.
The party is on Sunday. Okay. I don't think there would be a party on Sundays because next day is Monday, right? Everyone has to work. Okay. Now we will do a little bit of a practice exercise here. Now, maybe you're able to guess how to say celebration in Spanish.
Celebración.
Celebración, yes. Celebración. Now, many Xian English words, they just become Sion in Spanish. You see this a lot. Institution, institución. Commotion, conmoción. Emotion, emoción. Destruction, destrucción. It's not 100%, let's say, accurate rule, but maybe 95%. And it's shown English basically T-I-O-N. Makes most likely C-I-O-N. Sion. Okay, what about Tuesday? You still remember Tuesday? How to say Tuesday? Oh,
really I'm trying to think off the top of my head without looking at my notes.
Oh, it starts with a M.
Oh, martes. Sorry, martes.
Martes. Yes. Very good. Now let me. Now here's when we will have to gamble a little bit because we need to check if my audio is working correctly. Give me a second. Oh, give me a second. My program just froze. Uh-oh. Okay, give me a second. One moment. I have a TTS engine here, but for some reason. Okay, let me see. Okay, now it's working. Now let me change this. I will higher the volume a little bit, and I will set the delay. Maybe 50 should be enough. And then let me change this volume as well. And the delay, yeah, 50 as well. Now let me select the voice. Forgot to do this at the beginning. I think it's Elvira. Okay, let me know. Let me know how is the volume of this. Let me know if you hear something to begin with. Let me see.
Yeah,
La
I can hear
fiesta
your
es
voice.
el
It
domingo.
sounds. Oh, sorry. I kind of heard that a little bit, but it's not quite as loud as it like I need it to be.
Is it loud enough?
No, I like only could hear it a little bit.
Okay, and now on the screen, um, I forgot what voice is, but at the maybe top right corner or bottom right, there should be a button like a triple dot. I don't know if you have seen the menu button on your phone.
Mm, I'm on my computer right now. Let me see.
Yes, on the video you see basically on the screen you see basically my display. Around the corners there should be a menu button. It looks like I believe it looks like a triple dot, like three dots on top of each other, like a menu button on a phone. I don't know if you have seen. Have you seen this kind of button?
Oh, I think I see it now. Yeah, I see the user volume, so I'll increase that.
Now you should see. Maybe you can see stream volume. I don't know if you can see stream volume.
Let's see the stream. Oh yeah, I see that.
Yeah, that one. That one. Try to adjust it a little bit higher, and let me know. To give it another go.
Okay, I just adjusted it, so I think we can try to give it
Okay.
another.
La fiesta es el domingo.
What about that one?
Yeah, I could hear that.
Okay. Okay, that would be that is Elvira, the TTS voice, and she will be helping us for the exercises. Okay. Now, let's say we have this context, right? We have a celebration, and it is on Thursday. And let's say you're talking to Jessica. Oh, Jessica, how are you? Oh, this celebration, blah blah, Tuesday, blah blah. And then Jennifer comes along, and she heard something about the celebration, and she wants to know the following. Now we're gonna go word by word. Now, how can I do this? Give me a second.
¿Qué?
Okay, there. Give me a second. Okay,
¿Qué?
that's the first.
¿Qué?
No, it's not
Día.
fast.
Oh.
What day?
Es la
What,
celebración.
what day is the celebration?
What day is the celebration? Yes. Now, based on this context, how will you reply to Jennifer?
La celebración es el martes.
El martes. Very good. We have a reunion. Reunion. Maybe you can guess what is the meaning of reunion. How to say reunion?
I'm not 100% sure.
You will be shocked, but reunions, reunión. Reunión. Yes, I know it's shocking how difficult it is, but you will see many words that are just the same. But without the little that C little symbol, I'm not sure if you're able to see it. There's like a little tilde at the bottom of this
Yes.
O that is called acento. Acento. If you see one of these on a vowel, it usually implies that you have to raise your voice a little bit. So reunión. Reunión. Okay, how to say Friday?
Viernes.
Viernes, alright. Okay, now let me listen to this myself because I don't remember this. I made this lesson a while ago, so I forgot all the questions.
¿Y qué día es?
Okay. Okay, as I remember now. Okay, so let me put my reading control here. Okay.
¿Qué?
Oh
¿Y
no.
What?
qué?
Give me a second.
¿Y
Now I don't know if you know E.
y y
No.
For example, maybe if I give you a sentence, you will know. Mario y Luigi.
Oh, okay. And sorry.
And yes, that's it. Let me put this in the vocabulary. I'll call it extras. So N E E. Okay, let's go back. Let me open my reading controls. Okay.
y qué día es la reunión?
What do you think is the meaning of that?
And what day is the reunion?
What day is the reunion? How will reply to this question?
Sorry. Or is it el reunion es el viernes? Okay, it was long.
Yeah. No, it's correct. La reunión. The only mistake is la. La reunión es el viernes. Now, this is something I don't like to cover that much, like about the gender, how to differentiate between which one is feminine, which one is masculine. There is some tricks you can follow, but I don't. You know what? I don't like that kind of like lessons because they give you information that you will end up depending too much on. Like for example, if I tell you, for example, this rule that they say, oh, anything is feminine, like a girl, like feminine. For example, casa, that was a la casa. But if I tell you sistema, if I tell you sistema, oh, you will say la sistema. And no, that's wrong. That's incorrect. It will be el sistema. So, because there is many exceptions and rule breakers, I don't like to teach gender specific. I think that is that one of those things that is better to learn them gradually, eventually, like naturally. Let's say that you get used to it just by using the language, because there is many leads and exceptions and the exception of the exception. So for now, let's just take gender progressively in this case.
Okay.
La reunión es el viernes. La reunión es el viernes. Okay. Okay. So that would be que. And let me introduce a new question word. And depending on the time, this would be the last one we'll be introduced.
Okay.
So we have what, que, or cual, right? Now usually this one, all of these are just variations of que. In this case, a que hora. Maybe you can maybe we can translate this as what time at. What time at. And while we stay here, we will introduce a another marker, which is alas. I believe we also saw this one in or during our demo lesson. Alas is at, and you use this to mark time. And I gave an example. I gotta give you an example here. La clase es a las 5, which would be the class is at 5. The class is at 5. La clase es a las 5. So we have two new concepts, right? A qué hora, what time at, and a las, at to mark time. All right. Now let me go back for a while. Okay, so knowing a qué hora, what do you think is the meaning for this one?
¿A qué hora es la fiesta?
What time is the party?
What time? What time is the party? And oh, this one as well. Okay, we need to go back to the vocabulary. We're gonna call this maybe timing markers. I'm not sure how to call this. They call preposition, but that's a weird name. We have let's say we have 3 of them that are very common. In the morning de la mañana. De la mañana, for example, we would say at 6 in the morning. I'm gonna give you an example here actually. That will be 6 de la mañana. 6 in the morning. Then we have de la tarde. De la tarde. It will be at night. Night or during the night. Example. No, sorry. My brain is not working.
Yeah, I was gonna say it in the afternoon.
Yes. Oh, you're correcting me. That's it. Yes, we are. Yeah. That's the purpose of this classes. Okay. De la tarde. Sorry. Yes, you are right. In the afternoon. So another example could be 4 in the afternoon. And then this time, yes, de la noche. That's it. This is the one I was talking about. At night. At night. For example, 7 de la noche. 7 de la noche. 7 at night. Now this might depend on the country, but usually 7 p.m. is already night, and starting maybe 1 a.m. is morning in that case. But it will depend, right? So in some countries, for example, I believe in Spain they call 7 still afternoon, for example. But it would depend, right? Usually 7 to 7 it's already night. 7 p.m. and 1 a.m. is already morning. So we have de la mañana, de la tarde, and de la noche. That will be our timing, let's say, words. Okay. Knowing that, what do you think is the meaning for?
La fiesta es a las 3 de la tarde.
The party is at 3 in the afternoon.
3 in the afternoon. Very good. Okay. Let me see how many of these we have. Maybe we can do. How do you feel about energy, for example? It's up to you.
How do I feel about what?
About energy. Have a few exercises here. But it's up. Let's try to do maybe 2 of them, and let's see how do you feel.
Okay.
Okay. Give me a second. So we have a celebration, and we have Wednesday and 2 p.m. So same scenario, right? Imagine you're talking to your best friend Sofia, and you're talking, oh, do you know Sofia? Fiesta, miércoles, 2 p.m. And then here comes Laura, let's say Laura, and she only had a little bit of the conversation, so she wants to ask the following question. Now, let me listen to this myself because I don't remember.
¿Qué día es?
Okay, yes, I believe it's kind of similar.
¿Qué?
Now, give me a second. Okay.
¿Qué día es la celebración?
What do you think is the meaning for that?
Sorry, can you go back and redo it one more time?
Okay, give me a second.
¿Qué día es la celebración?
What day is celebration?
What day is the celebration? Now, how you answer Laura? Based on this context.
Wait. Sorry, I started to type it out and then I realized I misread it. La celebración es el miércoles.
Okay, yes, that's good.
A las. Oh wait, I thought it was gonna be all one.
Oh no, now you're correct. Yeah, you are correct. Yeah, you could say the time here, but I believe I have. Now let me see this audio, but I don't remember this audio.
¿Y a qué hora?
Yes, this is the next audio. Now the next one would be this. Now, let me see. What is my reading content? Oh, okay, here. Okay, here.
¿Y a qué hora es?
Now I want to stop here for a moment. Let's listen to this line. Listen to this.
¿Y
¿Y
a qué hora
a qué hora
es?
es?
And what time is it?
What time is it? Very good. Oh yes, I'm proud of you. What time is it? And this is why I hate the dictionary translation of it. I really don't like it because if you hear this, ¿y a qué hora es? And if you try to translate in the dictionary, it would be ¿a qué hora es eso? Sounds kind of weird if you say this in Spanish. So the correct way would say ¿y a qué hora es? That's why it's kind of, it doesn't exist in Spanish. Or if it exists, it's invisible, let's say. ¿Y a qué hora es? And what time is it? Now, how will you answer to this one?
A las dos.
A las dos. Afternoon, morning.
Oh, sorry. De la tarde.
Now, in this case, right? Now, in this case, people may assume that it's afternoon because nobody's gonna. No one is gonna celebrate something at 2 a.m. Right? So people may assume, okay, if you see dos, a las dos, they can assume it's afternoon. And just to exemplify, just to like go back to this theory I have that it doesn't exist in Spanish, you could also say es a las dos de la tarde, which would be it is 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Okay, let's do one more and then I'll let you to rest. Okay, let me see. We have a party. Saturday and 8 p.m. Now, do you still remember Saturday? Sábado. Okay, so there's same context, right? Someone talking about a party. Someone mentioned Saturday, sábado, and 8 p.m. They come and they ask. Give me a second.
¿A qué hora es la fiesta?
What do you think is the meaning for this one?
What time is the party?
What time is the party? How will you answer this?
Well, I could say like la fiesta es el.
Oh,
Or
what?
sorry, Sorry, alas.
Be careful there.
Alas. Uh,
Give me a second.
sorry. The
Es.
ocho
Ocho.
de la or sorry, ocho de la noche.
Ocho de la noche. You could also say, and this is something very common because we already know what are we talking about, right? When they ask you, at what time is the party, we already know we're talking about the party. So just like in English we would say it is at, in Spanish we can say es a las 8 de la noche. And then to finish we have a second.
¿Y qué día es?
What do you think is the meaning for this one?
And what day is it?
And what day is it? How will you answer?
La fiesta.
Oh, can you repeat?
Sorry, la fiesta
La fiesta.
es S-A-L?
El.
Okay, you don't need the A in this case. Okay.
Yeah. I is for time.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So that doesn't. It only applies for
Time.
when
yes.
you're talking. Okay. Es el sábado.
Sábado. Same as before. Just how we would say in English, it is. We can say just es el sábado. Sábado. Okay. Let's try to wrap this class. Let's go to our vocabulary. Question words. So far, we know what, qué or cuál, right? Qué or cuál. A qué hora, what time. A qué hora, what time at. Markers. You use this one to mark something. In this case, a las. This is about time. A las. Now you will notice this because take a look at this one, right? A qué hora. Now, just by the question, you will notice that so that will tell you also they are using the a here as well. This a from here is the same a as this one. Let's say a las at. La clase es a las 5. La clase is at 5. And then we have our timing marks. We are missing. Give me a second. This one. Sorry. Let me cut this and put it above there. On. This is about days. On. La fiesta es el lunes. Also, for example, la clase es el miércoles. The class is on when I hate this word. What? Day. Oof. Wednesday. And finally we have our timing marks de la mañana, de la tarde, and de la noche. De la mañana, de la tarde, and de la noche. Okay, before we finish, may you have any questions so far?
No, I don't think I have any questions. I think I need to go through just some of them really like some of them just to make sure that I remember because I've like learned a lot of this, but I've lost it over time. So I think I just need to go over some of the things. But I think I'm good for right now.
Okay, now I will give you. This is not school, right? So you don't need to. You need to do it. But just if you want to practice, I would like you to think maybe about your routine, your weekly routine, and what do you do each day. For example, you could say, let's say do you have maybe any like gym, you attend like a gym or any cooking, I don't know, any kind of event that is scheduled during your week, like do you attend cooking classes, something like that? I'm not so sure.
I mean, we could use, I guess this is an example, like I'm attending the Spanish lessons.
Oh, okay, yes, that could say, for you could say my Spanish.
Oh.
Okay. My first Spanish class es el miércoles at a las 5, which would be, maybe you can try to do the English first. My first Spanish is on
Class Thursday, or sorry, Wednesdays at 5.
Wednesday, yes, at 5. Yeah, maybe you get, maybe you have a guide, maybe you visit your family on Sunday, something like that.
Yeah, so we could say like my family dinners are on Sunday at 6.
Okay, that's a good one. My family, oh sorry, family dinner es el domingo, you said, right? A las
Yes.
6 de la tarde. And you could go on and go on with this. So I would like you. This is not a school, right? So you don't need to do it. But if in case you want to practice, this is something you can do. You can think of your daily schedule. Maybe when you wake up, or while the day is like progressing, you can write down. Okay, I went to meet Monica. Okay, my meeting with Monica is on day at time, and that's something you could do. Okay, now as I mentioned,